Hello, my YouTube friends. Thanks for joining in today. If you haven't hit that subscribe button right down there, please do so and smash that bell. Type down there as to why you love a Shure microphone, and that's going to get you in the contest on the drawing on the Shure SM7B, and you don't want to miss out. Man, it feels good. I'm actually on here today instead of at night. And how are you guys doing on your wonderful, lovely Sunday evening? Man, I am doing great. It feels good to be on here a little early and hang out with you guys. I had a few people writing in and saying that it was really hard for them to actually join the show because I come on so late. And so I thought, well, it's Sunday and it's one of those days that we're either with family or we're just at the house, we're just hanging out. So why not get on here today and do a post, do a little show, and come on here and hang out with you guys. So anyway, what is your favorite go-to microphone? I thought this would be an easy video to do, just simply because you guys know I love talking about microphones. What is my favorite go-to microphone? It's really kind of a touchy subject there because simply I love all microphones, but I will say this: I really trust my Telefunken AK-47. It's one of those microphones that I can go to every time and pretty much pull up a beautiful sound off of that microphone. The AK-47 by Telefunken, it is a beauty, and I mean, it just really, really shines whenever I run a little bit of beautiful a 1073 on it with a little bit of compression on the end of that, and then right into my DAW. Wow, it really is a beautiful microphone. I got to tell you, I've been having so much fun using that Telefunken AK-47. However, I love this RE 44 microphone as well by AEA. It is a beautiful microphone, this one right here. However, this mic is probably one of those microphones for you guys that love to croon. If there's any crooners still out there that love big ballads or anything like that, perhaps this is the microphone that you would like to use or a go to microphone for you guys. Now, on some of my other tracks, what I've been noticing a lot is I've really been enjoying this Shure SM7B and the RE-20. It's a dynamic microphone, and it pretty much sits in every mix that I've actually pulled it up on, and with no hype. It's just pretty much a straightforward microphone, and it does a really good job. So if you guys are just starting out and you don't have 1100, 1200, 1500, or 2000 and up to spend on a microphone, I highly suggest jumping into the Shure SM7B mic or the Electro Voice RE-20. The Shure SMC 7B will run you about $399, and the RE-20 will run you about $450. So you're going to spend a little bit more money for the RE-20. Plus, if you buy the shock mount that they sell with the RE-20, it's going to cost you around another $100. So you're going to end up spending $550 to get that set up unless you go with an aftermarket shock mount like I did. And I have another video you can check out on how I put that together. However, the Shure SM7B microphone, the shock mount is built actually inside the mic itself. So for $399, you actually get this mic right here shipped to your door, and it's a lovely microphone. A lot of your people that do rock songs or even a lot of pop songs, they're using the Shure SM7B microphone. The one thing that I do like about the Shure SM7B microphone is the fact that you can be in your studio in the tracking room. As you can see behind me, I have some Adams, and then I have some PreSonus monitors. What I like to do is actually sit my microphone in the middle of the room, facing this way, so that the mic is actually going in the direction of the speakers. Now, I have a lot of bass traps and sound diffusers on that side of the room. So I have no problem whatsoever cranking up my monitors, say around 70 dB or 80 dB, enough to kind of get the vibe going and to do the tracking without any headphones on in the room with no feedback from this mic. And so that's what I really, really enjoy about the RE-20 and the Shure SM7B because it rejects noise from here on back. The polar pattern pretty much picks up like this. So everything in front of this microphone, it captures really well. If you notice, as I start to slide around on the side of the microphone and actually get over here on this side of it, around a 180, you kind of lose some of the sound. And then as I get behind it, it really rejects the sound behind the mic. And then as I come back around in front of the microphone and then actually get it right in front of the microphone, it really picks up nice. So I hope that was a good demonstration for you guys to see how this mic actually rejects noise from behind it. And so this mic works well in the studio when you're doing your tracking if you don't like to use headphones. If you ever notice in the studio, a lot of times you'll see an artist, he'll be singing, and a lot of times he'll be having one headphone like this on one side of the head. And that way he can actually hear himself singing and get a blend between the mix and his voice. Now, when you put this other can on this ear, it pretty much just puts you in the mix. And there's something about recording or tracking for me, and I've noticed a lot of other people who sing with headphones on. A lot of times they either can sing sharp or flat just simply because they have headphones on. It's an amazing thing that happens. I'm not sure the definition of what that is, other than just kind of feeling out of place. And so, what I've noticed is if an artist can actually sing, listening to the speakers in the room or in the other room or whatever cranked up, they actually can perform a lot better in their tune. There's so much less tuning that has to take place when they can actually sing to some speakers or whatever and the sound in the room rather than having to sing in tune with their headphones on. Why that takes place, I have no idea. I really don't understand it myself. I just know that for some reason there's a separation that takes place when that happens, and that's why you see so many artists singing with one headphone on like that. Now I've kind of gotten used to singing with headphones on. However, I do my best tracks sincerely without the headphones on. I always seem to sing just a little better, and it can express my vocals a little better when I am not using my headphones. I can not only is my delivery better, but my tuning is a lot better too. So that might be something you guys might want to try out in your studio. Get you a dynamic microphone, get you this Shure SM7B or the RE-20, and I feel like that you're going to find yourself singing in tune a lot better whenever you don't use headphones. So there is something about to say about that. And a lot of people don't really care so much to if there is a little bit of room noise actually bleeding into the microphone. I know there's a lot of artists out there that say that that's actually part of the glue. And if you're only rolling off, putting a high pass filter on the microphone anyway, and you're trying to glue all the tracks together and you're singing in tune, what difference does it make if there's a little bit of bleedage getting into the microphone? And so, if you don't have to do any EQing other than putting a high pass filter on it, it's not that big of a deal to have a little bit of bleedage coming in. I've noticed that many, many times on my tracks, I would have a little bit of bleedage and I would still be able to achieve what I wanted to do without having that bleedage become a negative factor as far as the mix goes. So I've even done some tracking before where you have some open cans like this to where you see these little grills on the side of the headphone. Okay, so sound will actually come out of this. It's not a closed type headphone. So I've actually tracked with these on before as well and had the music really cranked up loud to where I really wanted to hear it to kind of get in the vibe of the tune. So some of your artists will like, you to turn it up. And if it's too low, they really can't get into it or get energetic or actually be able to sing out above the mix. And so that can throw them off. So having a good mix for your artist in the studio is imperative for them to actually lay down a good vocal track. But back to these headphones, I've had these cranked up so much so that the headphones themselves was actually bleeding into the microphone. And I was actually able to do some nice mixes with that. It wasn't detrimental to the mix. However, I figured, well, if there's that much bleedage coming in from the headphones, then it's not going to make a factor so much if a little bit of bleedage comes in to the microphone without the headphones, just facing the opposite direction. And so I started doing some tracking like that without the headphones on. And I found myself not only singing in tune better, but I was able to crank the music up enough to create that vibe I needed and to lay down some great vocal tracks. So, what microphone is my favorite go to microphone? What is your favorite go to microphone? I can say for me, I like the AKG, the AK-47. However, it is a condenser microphone, and it is one of those microphones that I find a little harder than the dynamic microphone to put in the same room with me as I'm doing the vocal tracks because there's so much bleedage coming into that the condenser mic that it seriously can pick up a pin drop on the floor or someone shutting a car door over there or outside. So I really like my dynamic microphone when I'm doing my vocals just simply because of the fact I can do my tracking in the same in the tracking room in my mixing room. So if that makes any sense to you guys out there, I hope it does. I hope I explained myself well enough to where it might be something that you might want to try, especially if you guys are just starting out. You might want to try with some dynamic microphones to see how well your voice sounds on them. If you don't have $400 to get a Shure SM7B or an RE-20, I highly suggest getting a simple SM58. That might be the microphone that you actually want to see how your voice sounds on. And if it sounds good, it might be a mic that you want to run through a beautiful, nice preamp and to kick that microphone in a different gear, in a racing gear, and make that microphone come alive. So don't necessarily put out the SM58 simply because it's $100 microphone or the 57. The 57, you're gonna have to put a windscreen in front of it of some sort because it is not a microphone that you actually want to get up close to and eat. The 58 is a little better than that. The 57 was really, I want to say, sounds really good for miking your amplifiers and cabinets and things like that. But the 58 has a little more windscreen built into the mic itself. So you're not going to get those popping P's as much as you would in a 57. So get you a 58 for $100. And that might be the microphone that you actually want to start out on and see if you can do some great tracks with that by running it through a beautiful, nice, clean preamp, a 1073 or something of that nature that's going to put out a nice, clean power to the microphone. So I feel like that to save you a little bit of money, that might be the microphone you want to get. And if you want to spend some more money, you can always still keep that 58 for live performances or other applications that you can still use it. So it's not going to be a waste of your $100, even if you do add to your mic collection as far as building your mics up. So don't never leave out any of those lower cost microphones, but it might be a microphone that you actually sound great on. So get you the 58 first. Try that out. If that's not happening for you by running it through a nice preamp. Now I'm talking about recording in the the tracking room itself. So I'm just trying to name out some mics that you perhaps might want to try first before you dump a whole bunch of money in some nice condensers or even the Shure SM7B or RE-20. For me, I've experienced singing through the 58 and actually done some stuff years ago singing through the 58 through a nice preamp and done some pretty fairly nice stuff. However, I jumped my game up a little bit and bought me some nice condenser mics, and then kind of went through the area of singing through all my condensers, and really didn't start singing through the Shure SM7B and the RE-20 till several years later. I want to say about 10 years into my adventure of audio recording. Then I started going back and using the Shure SM7B and the RE-20 to do some vocal tracks with. So those are my go-to mics. I love the Shure SM7B. I love the RE-20. I love my AK-47 condenser microphone, and I really love this nice, beautiful ribbon microphone right here by AEA. It is a beautiful mic. Now this mic right here, I really want to do some tracks with some nice crooning tracks, actually using the proximity effect on this microphone without rolling off a lot of that low end, typically because I want that big round sound. I want the full bodiness of the microphone itself with very few instruments involved. So it'll be maybe a piano track with the ribbon microphone here and perhaps even a cello. So cello, a piano, or acoustic guitar and cello and the 44. So by keeping your instruments, fewer instruments in the mix, and actually putting together something to where the instruments complement one another. Typically, a lot of times you'll hear an acoustic guitar and a cello and how they complement one another. So you'll hear those two in the mix in a vocal track. So, or it'll be a piano track and and uh, and just the voice. So that's something, and perhaps maybe one other instrument, maybe a violin or something like that, or even a horn. That way, you're not really having all these instruments that are masking one another, and then you can use the full. You can use something like this nice ribbon microphone to get the full body of the voice, and without having to roll anything off. So you can kind of keep the whole everything in there and have that real big sound. And so I'm preserving this microphone for some of those takes on some of those tunes that I write where I just have three instruments that are involved and then a vocal track at most. So four tracks. That way I don't have to, like I say, roll off a lot of the low end on this mic and actually use the proximity effect of this microphone to my advantage. So that's something to keep in mind, you guys. It feels really good here to be here on Sunday. This is probably one of my first times to hang out with you guys on a Sunday. How are you doing today? Or I hope your day is going great. Like I said, I wasn't going to actually get on here and do a Sunday video, but I've got some clothes in the washer out there that I'm cleaning up. Visited with a nice friend today at lunch. I ran into her. Um, I just accidentally seen her and spent a little time with her today at lunch, and that was nice and invigorating and finding out how she's doing. And and then left there and came here. And my son actually wants me to go spend some time with him next weekend. Him and his little girlfriend. I think I spoke about her before. They're madly in love, and it feels kind of good to see your son. Not kinda, but it feels really, really good to see your son in love with someone and someone in love with him. And perhaps soon, or someday soon, they can get married and have kids and do all that, you know. So I'm excited for the two of them, and I am going to go spend some time with him and her dad next weekend, and perhaps a barbecue out by the pool. And they want me to analyze some of the queen palms that actually got hit by this Texas storm that we had just recently. A lot of those queen palms can't take that freeze, and they'll actually die if they're not wrapped up around where the heart is, and the heart's actually right at the top of the tree, right before the fronds on those queens. So if they're not wrapped up at the top, that's where their heart is. And I'm gonna go check them out and squeeze them and whatnot. If they're all mushy and whatever, they could have bit the dust. So if you guys are in Texas, man, and you have a swimming pool and you want to put some palm trees around your swimming pool, that's a beautiful palm tree. However, they do freeze, and I don't suggest putting queens in Texas. The one to go to palm tree would probably be the sable palm or the Mexican fan are going to be your strongest palms for this area. They can handle the cold weather a lot better than those queens. Sorry to get off on all that other stuff, man, but I was just kind of letting you in on what's going on in my world and what's happening. And so sometimes it's okay, I think, to go ahead and get a little personal with you guys. But yeah, what is your go-to microphone? If you have any microphones that you're using that you love to use, please type down there in the comment section as to what microphones you're using and why. I would love to be filled in as to what microphones that you're using on your tracking your guitars and your vocals. So it doesn't have to be just your go-to microphone on your vocals, but what microphones are you using on your mic cabs? I mean your amplifier cabinets or even your acoustic guitars. I'm sure you're using some type of pencil microphone on your acoustic guitars. And so, but don't rule out all your other mics just because it's not a pencil microphone. I know I've done some really good takes with an AKG C414 microphone on an acoustic guitar, along with another mic in the room, a ribbon mic. So I've done some beautiful stuff with the two of those microphones, one up close, kind of angled, pointing right at the 12th fret, catching a little bit of the body and the neck of the guitar, and then having a nice ribbon microphone. I want to say I used the R84 and placed it in the room, probably about 6 feet away from me, and created some beautiful sounds, excuse me, with just those two microphones. No XY, no one, a lot of times you can do it like this, straight on. You can point one at the 12th fret or angle like this, one more closer to the, around the neck, around to hear what the fingers are doing. However, I found best results when I use two pencil microphones to put one at the 12th and then one at the body and catch a little bit of both of those resonance from the guitar. But yeah, let me know how you like to mic acoustic guitars, what microphones you're using as your go-to microphone on instruments, as well as your vocals. You can do some really, really cool stuff with two mics. So if you have more than one microphone and more than one preamp, even if it's a just a little mixer or something that you can plug your mic up to another mic, go ahead and do it, and don't be afraid to try new things. So you might say, oh well, Audio Master I only have one nice preamp and two microphones. Well, if you have a mixer or something that's going to actually add gain to that mic, that second mic, try it out. Try out two mics. You can always just cut it out the mix if you don't like it, if it doesn't sound good, if the mic placement wasn't right. So a lot of times that's really what it is, you guys. It's the mic placement. So just because you got a beautiful microphone and you want to add another one to the mix, it doesn't. Don't be afraid to do so. Only because you can always do a lot of things with it, and a lot of times you can get that right sound that you need just by simply moving it this way, just a little bit, or maybe pulling it back just a little bit, or angle it the other way. Don't be afraid to try some different positions in your mic position, is what I'm saying. I find that a lot of times it's just a little bit, it's just a little turn here or there that makes a world of difference, or pulling it back just a little bit to actually hear somewhat of the room going on with the amplifier. So a lot of times, people get the idea of cramming that microphone really, really far up into the cab on that speaker grill, especially like if it's a 57, or they might hang a 58 over the mic cab and let it drape down like this, and so that it's picking up the amplifier itself. Don't be afraid to move it back a little bit. Don't be afraid to move that microphone 4 inches away from the mic cab, or 8 inches away, or 10 or 12 inches away from the mic cab. You'll be surprised how much different it's going to sound, what you're actually going to hear after you do the tracking by moving the microphone. So, those are some little tips you guys can use. And remember, it's not too hard. Just don't always get in the habit of cramming your mic right into the speaker cone. Go ahead and pull it back just a little bit. I think you'll find you'll like it a lot of times. And that's why a lot of times people would have two mics on a cab, one up really close in the grill, and then one pulled back in the room. And then they can do a variation between the two, or have the one pulled back in the room a little more closer and then pulled up in the mix, or just the opposite. So there's a lot of little tricks that you can use by having two microphones. I know way back in the day, I used to watch a lot of those live concerts, and and they would have two mics. The singer would actually be singing through two microphones, side by side, or one over and under, like a shotgun, over and a double barrel. They have one here. They might have a 58 and a 57 underneath, and it's all taped up and look like whatever, like a big mess. And I used to think, I wonder why he's got two mics. This is when I was a kid. I noticed that. I was like, I wonder why he's singing through two microphones. I never really knew. But what they're doing, actually, the engineer has control of all that. Let's just say they might have that second mic, that 57, where it's going through a whole different set of effects. And then during the song, you got your singer up there singing. Well, it's picking up both those mics. And so the engineer might bleed that 57 in with those effects, whether it's delay or whatever, just to come in and out in the song. So there's a lot that he can do with having two microphones. So you can too. You can do a lot with having two microphones and utilize them, man. Don't just leave that one hanging out in the drawer in there or your mic locker. Use both of them, man. I think you'll find you'll like that. So yeah, man, a lot of great things going on. I was contemplating what I was going to actually do next weekend. We got the drawing on a Shure SM7B that I've been waiting for my go-to guy to get here and actually give one of these away. Been dying to give one away, and I want to give one away. The only thing that I ask this time, if you're just now joining in, is if you win the microphone, I'm going to be doing some Be Live shows. So I'll announce the winner, and then if once you get the microphone, that you actually come back on the show and let me know how you're liking your microphone. Be nice if you're actually plugged into it too, and we can do a side by side thing where you're using your Shure SM7B and I'm using mine. And just let me know how you like it, if you're excited about getting it, and all the whole 9 yards. That's all I ask. Because the other two winners didn't do much other than say, I like it. So I'm hoping that if if whoever wins it, I'll actually get on the show with me and do a side by side, and we can talk about the Shure SMC7B, and yeah, just chat about how nice it is. I really like this mic. I haven't mentioned before, so when you get this microphone, it's actually going to come with two windscreens. It'll come with one on the mic that you don't see now, and then the one that I'm using is the spare that comes with this mic, and you'll be able to use this one too. I like this one a little better than the one that comes with the microphone or on the microphone, just simply because it's fatter. Here, let me get a little closer. It's fatter, and it actually has these little sparkles in it. I don't know if you can see that. See those little sparkles right there? And it really, really looks good. Not only does it feel good getting up to it close and talking right here on the windscreen, but it just looks beautiful, man. And I mentioned too in another video, you see this little rib right here on the side? These guys made this microphone so nice and it's so crafted that when you put it on this mic, it doesn't need, they send these little sticker things that you can actually put on the mic right here on the side. And it actually sticks inside here so that the windscreen doesn't slide off or come off. But they crafted this baby so well that when you put this thing on, it fits like a glove, man. It ain't going nowhere. So I like talking through this one better. And as I'm putting my fingers inside, you can really feel the thickness in there. It's really thicker than the other popper stopper. So it has a nice feel to it, and it don't smell bad. You know how a lot of things when they're new and they ship things, it has this like oily smell to it or whatever. There's no smell to this, so you won't mind getting up close to it and speaking through into this windscreen. Shure SM7B, what a great microphone that Shure came out with. This is truly a hands down a winner in my book. I love this mic, and you will too, whoever wins this mic. So I'm gonna put it back on and see if I don't make too much noise. But as you notice, as I get it closer and put it on, it's so snug. It fits like a glove. Just fits so good. What a beautiful mic. It'll also come with this little thing. You see this where it says Shure right here? This is actually a band that you can use to wrap your guitar cables up or your microphone cable up. And I wasn't using it. It was just sitting in the box for many, many years. And I thought, well, why not just put that baby on that mic and see if it fits? So I strapped it on here. And see if you guys can see it right there. I strapped it on here. It says Shure on this side and the other side. And I thought, wow, that really looks cool. So you definitely know what kind of microphone it is when you walk up to it. There's no question about it. It says Shure really, really big on the side right there. But yeah, Shure, Shure microphones have been around a long time, and they're really, really good microphones all around. And so the Shure SM7B, the RE-20 is a go-to microphone of mine. Type down there as to what microphone is one of your favorite mics. I would love to hear it. So we got the studio looking good finally. I'm waiting on a piece of gear to actually get here to do some tracking through on my vocals on a new song that I've written. I love this song. It's got a lot of, it's really about groove these days. So the song has a lot of groove, has a lot of drums coming in and out of the mix. And there's piano to it, and there's keyboards in there, and it sounds good. I love it. And I have all the vocals written and everything right now. So it's just a matter of getting this piece of gear in that I want to do some tracking with. And I can't wait to get it. It's not going to be here till mid March. What is it? What's today's date? The 7th. I'm not sure what today's date is, but they said it was going to be here mid March. So if that's the case, I am stoked and can't wait to finish my song so that I can put it out there for you guys. And I'm going to do a little thing where I'm going to let you guess as to what microphone I ended up using in the tracks because I'm actually did some tracking with this one, the SM7B, the RE-20, the AK-47, and also the Rode NT1. So it's going to be interesting to see if you guys can guess as to what microphone I ended up using on the final tracks. I know for me, if I had to go at it at a blind test and had to guess, I'm really not sure I could guess either. So it's going to be interesting to see what you guys, some of the answers that you guys come up with as to what is a good mix. I mean, what is the microphone that I actually used in the mix? So yeah, it was nice getting out today. It's beautiful here in Texas, and I think we're going to have a great weekend coming and a lot of good, lot of fresh air coming in. I noticed the pollen's coming in, man. My car was just had all this yellow dust all over the car. And so if you guys suffer from allergies, go ahead and start cranking up on your vitamin C and all those good vitamins and whatnot so that you don't get sick or come down with something. So I've been fortunate to have been taking my vitamins this whole year and cramming them down. And I really feel like they've been helping me not only feel better, but sleep better. And getting proper sleep is very, very important, especially for you guys who are singers or, actually get out there and perform. I want to say that not only did I do that, but I changed my diet. So I've been eating better. I've been eating more salads and everything. And so don't think by 1 minute if you're neglecting uh, eating good, if you're neglecting not getting enough sleep, if you're neglecting exercise and you're neglecting all those things that actually make you a healthier person, if you're an artist and you're a singer, man, it really, really does reveal if you've been being bad. So when you feel good, when you've been getting proper rest, and when you've been eating good, your voice, I don't know what it is in your voice, man. It just really, really reflects everything. There's no getting away with hiding if you've been taking care of your body and your voice. And so eating good and sleeping good is very, very imperative to do for you guys that are singers. So start taking care of yourself, start eating better, sleeping better. Try not to drink so much. Try to get off the alcohol and do yourself a favor. Get out there and get some fresh air. Start exercising, get in shape. And you're going to find that it's going to be much easier to get those really nice, hit those notes and sound really, really good. When you're, it's kind of like a car. If you keep putting bad gas in it, it's not going to get the gas mileage it needs or can, perform for you. It's not going to perform. It's not going to get up and go as well. It's going to be sluggish. It may even miss, and it's going to cause other problems in your car by putting bad gas through it. So when you put good gas in it, it performs better, gets better gas mileage, it runs cleaner, it runs smoother, runs quieter, and it doesn't cause all the problems. Same way with our diet when we eat. If we're eating clean and we're taking care of our body, we're going to perform better. We're going to sound better. Our voice is going to sound better. It's going to do what we want it to do. It's going to sound more pure and cleaner. And you yourself, when you hit those notes, you're going to know, yeah, I nailed it, man. There's no guessing. But you can ask a singer if they've ever had a bad day. It's probably because they haven't been sleeping good, eating good, or taking care of themselves. And they know that they can actually do a better vocal track for you in the studio if they've been taking care of themselves. So, I want to pass this along to you guys. If you're wondering why you're not being able to get a good vocal track on your go to microphone, it might be because you're not resting well, sleeping, going into that REM state, and eating good and taking care of yourself. So, I want to encourage you guys to get out there and to, you know, make this a regiment of you to try to start doing. Start taking care of yourself, eating better, and all these other things so that you can perform better in your studio. And not only that, it's going to give you the energy and it's also going to make you want to get excited about life again and get in your studio and crank everything up. I wanted to share that with you guys. And I thought I'd get on here and hang out with you for a while. Thank you so much for joining in today on this beautiful Sunday. I'm going to check on my clothes and do some other things that need to be done around the house on this day that I have to do so because Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week, I'm going to be really, really, really busy with a lot of things. So I kind of want to get all my little house chores done first so that I can have enough time to get creative and get in the studio and hang out with you guys. So I don't want to miss my every night. I'm going to try to start coming on around 7:30, between 7:30 and 8 to free up a little more time for me to have and getting my exercise in and getting my eating in before I actually come on the show and hang out with you guys. So before I was running late and I, tell you guys I'd be on here at 7. Wasn't getting on here until 7:38, closer to 8 o'clock. And I'm like, this is getting harder and harder. And as we approach summer, it's going to be even harder to make those hours work for me. So I'm kind of moving it up a little bit, getting into the 8 o'clock hour, 7:30, 8 o'clock hour. You can kind of be expecting me to come on each and every night. I'm going to be giving little snippets and little bits here and there to help you guys out, get a little further along in your audio recording engineer dreams. And so hopefully I can just give you little bits here and there so that they stick to your mind and you'll be able to use these in your arsenal whenever you go to work. So, with that in mind, thank you again so much for joining in today on this lovely Sunday. I'm going to get back at to cleaning up. And thank you guys so much for joining in and hanging out on my show. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit the subscribe button right down there. And we appreciate and like and share as always. Please do that. That's easy to do. And it just helps me out and helps promote the channel. By doing so, and getting the videos in the algorithm so that other people can enjoy them too. Thank you guys so much, sincerely, and we will see you again.